All right, knee bars. So I'm gonna just show the mechanics of one before we get into some entries and talk about how I like to finish one. So Russell, if you could be in like an open guard position, and I'm gonna actually knee bar. Well, let's go this way so that people can see what I'm doing to your leg. I'm gonna take this leg. Sometimes my shin's across his hip, and sometimes it's all the way through. Depends on the setup. We'll work on that. But I'm gonna step through here, and I'm gonna get all the way over here. So what I want, ideally, I could finish this if this hip were on that side, but it's a lot harder. What I want is to be sitting kind of on his hip. I want his knee to be about in my belly button. My other foot is gonna be curling behind his back or figure four, but I prefer a curl behind the back. What's important here is if I grab like an arm bar and grab at the wrist and try and hike here, he has the ability to rotate his foot and pull his knee out of here in some way. So I need to stop the rotation of his knee and his hip. So I'm going to put my elbow behind his Achilles and put my ear or my face on his toe. And now, can you turn your foot?
No, I cannot.
No, yeah. So from here, now as I hip, that can finish a knee bar, but also as I hip, I'm going to pull my shoulder to the mat. And that works a lot faster because it puts a little twist in his toe. So again, I want my hip on the ground, his leg, then my leg. Okay, so we're sandwiching that. My pelvis needs to be above his knee. My elbow goes into his Achilles. I stop his toe from moving with my ear, and I pull my shoulder to the ground while I curl my hips back. Very tight knee bar. So there's a bunch of ways to enter this. Let's maybe get like at a 45-degree angle here. We'll see. My favorite is usually off of an over-under pass. So I'm trying to pass Russell's guard. I drop into this over-under pass, or here, where I'm stapling his leg. And if I just go for the knee bar here right away, he will see that coming and he'll frame and stop me. But if I'm really genuinely trying for this pass and his arm comes up to block me, I'm gonna go under and through. And now once his hand's on the ground, I can keep this nice and tight and grabbing that thigh. He's shelved on my knee. I have the freedom now to stand up a little bit because he can't follow me. And as I stand up, I can slice my leg through and notice my foot's still on his hip, my shin's in his thigh. I'm sitting on him because if I'm forward, he can actually toe hold me or do other mean things. But I don't want that, so I'm sitting on him and then I'm rotating to my hip. Again, grabbing that heel with my elbow, grabbing his toe, hipping down. And that foot in the hip is actually a good way to keep him stuck there. Could you see all that, Kevin?
Yeah. I think maybe
is there
if you
another
get an
angle you'd like
where
me to
his
do it from?
feet was towards the camera.
Okay.
And this way we can see the finish after.
So I'm facing Russell's open guard. I'm gonna go one hand in, one hand under, like I want this knee slice, and I do want this knee slice, that'd be great. But Russell comes to stop me, my hand's gonna come behind his elbow, press him down. This allows me to rotate my knee over his hip, slide through. And now my foot, my shin is still on his hip, I'm holding his knee to my belly, and I'm reaching up to his ankle, muscle cutting his thigh. I'm holding the knee, holding his toe, and now we're gonna knee bar. Just crushing it. It's awful. So if I'm in turtle and Russell's trying to take my back and he leaves his foot here, I can take my hand and I'm gonna roll over my shoulder. I always want to tuck my head. Now I'm having nightmares about that guy. With Russell's got his leg behind me, I'm going to roll over my shoulder, reaching for his leg. And as I roll through, I'm going to kick him in the armpit with my other leg. Ooh. Oh, and now I am on kind of the bad side to finish this, but it's such a good setup that it's hard for him to escape from here. And again, I'm going to bring my elbow to his ankle, put my toe or my ear in his toe, and hip down. So Russell's left his leg here. I'm going to dive underneath over my shoulder, kick him, and now I have this knee bar here. I'm gonna put my ear to his toe, hold tight at his Achilles, and hip down while I curl my heels to my butt. So sometimes to escape a straight ankle lock or anything like that, my opponent will roll this direction. And as Russell goes that way, all I have to do is turn my hips, and now my hips are aligned with his knee, and I can push down into a knee bar. Yeah. That's actually my favorite. And the way that works on either side, inside or outside ankle lock, we're here, although he would be silly to go that way, but if his foot starts to get loose and he starts to go that way, I just turn to line up with him. And now, again, put my ear on his toe, grab the ankle, and press forward with my hips. Yeah, okay. So, if I have my knee shield in, and I'm able to get almost a deep half reaching underneath Russell's leg, boom, as I'm able to frame on him with my shin and my thigh pushing him away, my leg that's down on his other leg is gonna come up to his hip, and I just keep pushing, and now we're right where we wanna be. I'm gonna put that, boom. But again, it's a lower percentage if his hip's on the ground than my hip than his hip. I want it to be my leg on the ground first. It's a little tighter hold, but you don't always have that choice. And it's still worth going for and leads to other leg entanglements.